Hello students, welcome back to Varanda Race Institute. Students, as you know, at Varanda Race Institute, we provide coaching for the competitive exams such as PC, PSI, FDA, SDA, VAO, PDO, Group B, Group C, Banking, Railways, KPSC examination. So, students, Sadhana educational event, Sadhana educational eye-opener event is happening in Dharwad on 26th of July, Saturday. ಈ ಶನಿವಾರ ಏನಿದೆ, this Saturday, 26th July, 10 AM to 1 PM at Dharwad Saptapur Lingayatara Samudaya Bhavana, Sadhana educational event is happening, where this educational event is for those aspirants appearing for KPSC, SSC, Banking, Railway examination. The chief guest, if you see, Shankar Bellubbi sir, Assistant Commissioner Income Tax, Mahadevi Patoli ma'am, PSI, Arjun SG sir, ESI officer, these three are the chief guests for the Sadhana educational event on 26th of July. You can talk to them directly in the event. This is the QR code, you can scan this and register for the event. First 100 registration free of cost, next all registration are charged ₹99. The link will be in the description and also the QR code is available here. Make good use of this educational event, Sadhana educational event. Send it to all of your friends who are near Hubli, Dharwad and nearby places. The event is happening at Dharwad. So, good evening my dear students. Sanjana SK, Archita, Jyoti, Sonia, Sheila, Ningu Kallur, Sagar Onigeri, welcome to the class. So, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ yesterday we completed some topics of vice president. Today it is continuation, vice president part 2, ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಭಾಗ 2. So let's see what and all vice president, how and all vice president vacancy is created, what and all is the powers and functions of the vice president, and also next 1 hour only we will be solving questions, multiple choice questions on vice president, and also we will be discussing about current affairs, polity related current affairs. Swastik, namaste. Okay, the vacancy in the office of vice president, the vacancy in the office of vice president, ಹೇಗೆ ವೇಕೆನ್ಸಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಹುದ್ದೆ ಏನಿದೆ, the office or post of vice president, how vacancy is created. Let's see. First, a vacancy in the vice president office can occur in any of the following cases, that is on the expiry of his or term of 5 years. 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಏನಿದೆ, 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಏನಿದೆ ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳಿಗೆ, ಅದು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣಗೊಂಡಾಗ, the after its completion vacancy is created. By his or her resignation, recently if you know our Jagdeep Dhankar sir using article 67 subsection A, he has given his resignation to president. Vacancy of vice president office is created even through the resignation of vice president. Then on his or her removal, yesterday we discussed, nenne tane kaltidivi, vice president removal process, it is not formal impeachment process is not required for the vice president, and there is no grounds mentioned in the constitution. ಸಂವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ grounds mention ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ for the reason to remove the vice president from his or her post. By his or her death, any vice president serving as, any person serving as in the post of vice president, by his or her death also vacancy is created. So, for example, when he or she, when vice president becomes disqualified to hold office, or when his or her election is declared void, these are the 5 ways. ಈ 5 ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಪದವಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ವೇಕೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ. If you see on the expiry of tenure of 5 years, students, there is 2 situation here. On expiry of 5 years terms, when 5 years of vice president is completed, when 5 years is completed, there is two possibility. First possibility, within those 5 years, within 5 years, basically last 6 months is remaining. No, like 4.6 years completed. 4.6 years completed. Within 6 months, election has to be conducted in those 6 months. Before 6 months of 5 years getting completed, 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ term in complete ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. After 4.5 years, last 6 months remaining in those 5 years, election for new vice president should be conducted. This is first case. If election was not able to be conducted, then the current VP, the current vice president will continue till the successor assumes charges. Right after the expiry of term, vice president does not give his or her resignation. Two ways are possible. Before the completion of 5-year term, after 4.5 years, vice president election is conducted. If vice president election was not able to get conducted, the current vice president continues till the successor. Then he or she will hand over the power to the successor. Then new vice president is appointed. Sachi, by his or her resignation, if you know, recently just 2 days back, ನಮ್ಮ ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳು ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜಗದೀಪ್ ಧನ್ಕರ್ ಯಾರಿದ್ರು, ಮಾಜಿ ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, gave his resignation under Article 67 subsection A to the President of India. Through resignation also, vacancies created. What about his or her removal? What about removal of vice president, my dear students? Removal of vice president. Yesterday we learned, no, nenne tane kaltidivi. Removal of vice president. It can only be initiated where? Removal of vice president can only be initiated in Rajya Sabha. It can't be initiated in Lok Sabha. What is the reason? What is the reason for removal of vice president? It is not mentioned. There is no ground. Not mentioned or no ground for the removal of vice president. There is no any reason in the constitution. Formal impeachment process is not required. Formal impeachment process, like how you do impeachment for the president. Formal impeachment process is not required for the removal of vice president. And what is the procedure for the removal of vice president? It is effective majority in Rajya Sabha. Effective majority in Rajya Sabha. It is simple majority in Lok Sabha. Before initiating the removal process, 14 days of notice should be given to the vice president. Before initiating the removal process, this is the removal process of vice president. ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸದಿಂದ ಅಮಾನತು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿದೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಷರತ್ತುಗಳಿದೆ, ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್. this is the way, this is the process how you remove vice president. ಒಬ್ಬರು ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸದಿಂದ ಪದವಿಯಿಂದ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಮಾನತು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. It can only be initiated in Rajya Sabha. Reason not mentioned. There is no reason mentioned. Like president, the reason is for president, violation of constitution. For vice president, no reason as mentioned. Then formal impeachment process is not required. Like how president election happens, president impeachment process happen. Sorry my students. Effective majority in Rajya Sabha, simple majority in Lok Sabha. To initiate the removal process of vice president, 14 days of notice should be given. Next, by his or her death. Obviously, death is a natural activity. Death can occur anytime to any person. By sudden death also, there is vacancy created. And finally, for example, when vice president, he or she is disqualified to hold office, or when his or her election, when there is doubts or any conflict in vice president election, whose decision is final, my dear students? ಯಾವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ಕೊರತೆಗಳು ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ, Supreme Court decision is final. Whatever matter related to the election of the president, election of vice president, Supreme Court decision is final. Both in election of president, both in election of vice president also. And any vice president election is declared void. Vice president election is declared void by Supreme Court. Then all acts done by vice president, is valid, is not disqualified. Same with president. If president election is disqualified, if the person who is elected as president is disqualified, all acts done by him still remains valid. Yes, my dear students. Yes, Kaidesai. Yes, correct. So next, and if you know, again I am telling you, the office of vice president, which article? Article 63. Article 63 of the Constitution tells that there should be office of vice president. Next, when the vacancy to be caused by the expiration of the term of sitting vice president, an election to fill the upcoming vice president should happen before the expiration of the term. I told you no. After 4.6 years, after 4.6 years, 4.5 years, last 6 months of 5 years, last 6 months of 5 years term, election will be conducted of vice president, upcoming vice president. If election was not able to happen because of any reason, any emergency reason, then the sitting vice president will continue till his or her successor is appointed. Next, if the office falls vacant by resignation, by removal, by death, or by disqualification, then the election to fill the vacancy should be held as soon as possible after the occurrence of the vacancy. For president, it is basically within 6 months, my dear students. For president, it is basically within 6 months, anything happens to the president in terms of death, removal, resignation, within 6 months, new president should be elected. Whereas for vice president, it has told that as soon as possible. Even it is also considered like 6 months, but still there is no any mentioned time limit here. As soon as possible. Next, the newly elected vice president remains in office for a full term of 5 years from the date he or she assumes his or her office. My dear students, if you compare it with America's vice president, when president position is vacant, America vice president will become president of India for the remaining term of that president. In Indian country, it is not like that. The vice president will act as president until the new president is elected. That is maximum 6 months when it comes to death, resignation, removal. But in USA, it is not like that. Vice president will become president till the remaining period. Sky Desai, Dana Rajyapala, Article 153, for which article? Diana Rajyapala. Oh. Okay, next. Powers and functions of the vice president, my dear students. Powers and functions of vice president. Powers and functions of vice president. The functions of the vice president are of twofold. Most of the functions, powers are given to president, my dear students, but only some of these functions and powers are given to vice president also. Let's see what. As we know, vice president is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. He or she is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. In that capacity, the power of the vice president functions are similar to that of the speaker of the Lok Sabha. Vice president is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. He is the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha. His functions, upper house is called as Senate. India's upper house, Rajya Sabha, ex officio chairman is vice president. Same way, USA upper house Senate, ex officio chairman of it is vice president. If you know, my dear students, India's vice president post has been inspired from vice president post of USA Constitution. Right now, USA vice president is J.D. Vance. President of USA is Donald Trump, Vice President is JD Vance. Here our President of India is Draupadi Murmuji. Vice President recently, sir, 2 days back, Jagdeep Dhansarkar resigned. So next Vice President will be appointed as soon as possible. Now, second power, Vice President, when a vacancy occurs in the office of Vice President, when the vacancy in President office and there is vacancy, then Vice President will act as President until new President has been elected. Whenever the President is removed through impeachment process, or the President expired, or the President has fallen ill, President is on foreign tour, then Vice President acts as President whenever there is vacancy in President's office. Vice President act as President only for a maximum period of 6 months, within which a new President has to be elected. If President has expired, if President has impeached, if President resigns, if President is disqualified, then only maximum time is 6 months. Within 6 months, new President election should happen. Maximum period Vice President can become as President is 6 months. But President is alive. President is still in his post, but President is not well. President has gone on medical leave for more than 6 months, means then Vice President, even for more than 6 months, he or she continues as President of India. Diana. Yes. Next, when the sitting president is unable to discharge, I told you no, when sitting president is there, but he or she is ill due to medical leave, they are on long-term leave, means till then Vice President discharges their function until President resumes his or her office. While acting as a president, when Vice President is acting as a president, discharging the functions of the president, what happens? The Vice President does not perform the duties of the office of the chairman of Rajya Sabha. My dear students, when Vice President is discharging the functions of president, then who is presiding over the Rajya Sabha? Who is presiding over the sessions in the Rajya Sabha when Vice President is acting as President? Obviously, President cannot become ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. So, Vice President, when he is discharging his functions as a President, he cannot preside over the proceedings of the Rajya Sabha. Who will do it? It is Deputy Chairman. Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha preside over the proceedings of the Rajya Sabha, because Vice President, while discharging the functions of President, he or she cannot sit as a Rajya Sabha presiding officer. Next, during the period when Vice President is acting as a President, duties are performed by during the time when Vice President is acting as a President, the proceedings of Rajya Sabha is being presided by the Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Yes, my dear students. The Constitution has not fixed any emoluments for the Vice President in that capacity. The Constitution has not fixed any emoluments in that capacity. Whenever Vice President is discharging his or her functions as President, they will get all the powers, privileges, allowance, emoluments, same what President gets during that period. He or she draws his or regular salary in her capacity as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. When Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha is performing the functions of Chairman of Rajya Sabha, they will get what salary, what emoluments Vice President is supposed to get. When Vice President is discharging the functions of the President, Vice President will get the salary emoluments of what President was supposed to get. My dear student, what is the salary of the President and what is the salary of the Vice President, my dear students? What is the salary of President? Present salary of President per month, salary of President. What is the present salary of President? What is the present salary of vice president? The present salary of president, my dear students, it is 5 lakh. The present salary of vice president, it is 4 lakh. Whenever vice president is discharging the functions of president, they get the emoluments, they get the allowance, they get the salary of president of India, they get all the powers, functions, privileges of that. Whenever deputy chairman is performing as a deputy chairman is performing as a presiding officer of Rajya Sabha, they will get same salary as what ex officio chairman was supposed to get. Yes, correct, my dear students. Next, during any period when the vice president acts as the president or discharges the functions of the president, he or she is not entitled to salary allowance of the payable of the chairman of Rajya Sabha, because they will already get the allowance payable to the president. I am telling you again and again, whenever vice president is discharging the functions of the president, they won't get salary according to the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, because they are already getting the salary according to the president of India. For those 6 months, vice president will get the salary of president of India, not as a whatever salary chairman of Rajya Sabha was supposed to get. Deputy chairman performing chairman function, he will get the salary of chairman during that time. My dear students, let's solve the questions. Read each and every option carefully. Please don't jump into the conclusion. Please don't give me wrong answers. Which of the following statements regarding the impeachment of Vice President of India is most accurate? The Constitution specifies violation of the Constitution as the sole ground for the impeachment similar to President. The President's concurrence is mandatory for the removal process to commence. The resolution for removal must be passed by an effective majority in the Rajya Sabha and agreed then by a simple majority in the Lok Sabha. A resolution for removal can be initiated only in the Lok Sabha with a special majority. What is the removal process of the Vice President, my dear students? Jyoti, Sheila, Diana. What about others? Sky Desai, Archita, Swastik, Sagar Onigeri, Gokak, Hudagi. Gokak Hudagi, sorry. Obviously, when it comes to the Uparashtrapatigalna removal process, when it comes to the removal process of Vice President, Uparashtrapatigalna ಪದವಿಯಿಂದ ಅಮಾನತು ಮಾಡುವ ಏನು ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಇದೆ, that is effective majority in the Rajya Sabha, simple majority in the Lok Sabha. It can only be initiated in the Rajya Sabha. Before it is initiating, 14 days of notice should be given to the Vice President of India. Yes, Riya, impeachment. The impeachment process is only for President of India. To no other person impeachment process is done. The word impeachment, the procedure impeachment is called only for the removal of President of India, and also based on the grounds violation of law is for President of India. Riya, the violation of Constitution is not only for President of India, Riya. Violation of Constitution term is given even for removal of Supreme Court judge also. Removal of Supreme Court judge, removal of Chief Justice of India, removal of Supreme Court judge. For them also violation of Constitution is one of the ground. But it is not called as impeachment process, that's it. Next, in the event of a vacancy in the office of the President, which of the following scenarios accurately describe the Vice President role? Please read each and every option carefully. The Vice President acts as President for a maximum period of 6 months within which new elections must be held. The Chief Justice of India automatically assumes the presidency if the Vice President's office is also vacant. The Vice President when acting as president ceases to be the chairman of Rajya Sabha and replaced by a temporary chairman elected by the House, the vice president performs the functions of president until a new president is elected, regardless of the time period. Please read the question, read the every option carefully. It is asking which of the following scenarios accurately. Please read this word. Example inge nimna yamarsadu. You get fooled by this only. Don't skip the word accurately. Don't jump to answers. Sheila A, Diana A. Don't jump to the answers. Don't jump to the answer. Sheila, Diana, Jyoti. Read the word accurately. If you people are answering this question is also wrong, then what you people are preparing? People, you need to think about yourself. Read the options carefully. Options na correct odi onsali. It is asking accurately. Interpret the options. Sheila, Diana, Jyoti, others, Ria, not yet answer still. Ria is telling C. The vice president, when acting as a president, ceases to be chairman of Rajya Sabha and is replaced by a temporary chairman elected by the House. Sheila C, Ria C. What about others? Sagar Onigeri, Sky Desai, Sachi, Swastik. Ria, Sheila, Diana, Jyoti, all of you have given wrong answer. Congratulations to you. Option A is wrong answer. Option C is wrong answer. I told you to read the options correctly. The question itself is telling you which of the following scenarios accurately describes the Vice President of India. Whenever the vacancy is regarding the President of India. See, this is how we are supposed to solve the question. In the event of vacancy in the office of President, which of the following scenarios accurately describes the Vice President's role? First option, the Vice President acts as the President for a maximum period. The Vice President acts as the President for a maximum period of 6 months within which new election must be held. My dear students, does Vice President act only for 6 months? It depends on the conditions, no? Whenever the vacancy of office of President is based on resignation, removal, death or disqualification, then maximum time is 6 months for Vice President. But President is alive, President is still in the post, but he or she is not able to discharge function because of sickness or illness, even for more than 6 months. Till the President comes back to his office, Vice President can become President of India. 6 months depends on the conditions. It is telling maximum period of 6 months. No. Vice President can act as President more than 6 months whenever the vacancy is because of illness of the President. Sheila, again wrong answer. It is not even D. A, C, D, all are wrong answers. Vice President can be President of India for maximum of 6 months respect to conditions. Whenever the vacancy is because of resignation, removal, death, disqualification, then only 6 months. If President is alive, President is not well, more than 6 months, 8 months, 9 months also, Vice President will become President until President comes back. Option A is wrong. Option C, the Vice President when acting as a President ceases to be the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Till now it is correct. When Vice President is acting as a President, he or she ceases to become Chairman of Rajya Sabha. But what is wrong in statement means the person who is replaced is not a temporary chairman, but a person who is replaced is a deputy chairman. Person who is replaced, Vice President is deputy chairman. Temporary, it is not chairman. Only chairman of Rajya Sabha is Vice President. The deputy chairman replaces. Whenever Vice President is discharging his function as President, deputy chairman presides over the Rajya Sabha house. That is why option C is also wrong. Next, option D. The Vice President performs the functions of the President. Until here the statement is correct. The vice president performs the function of a president until a new president is elected, regardless of the time period. How regardless of the time period? There is given a condition whenever the vacancy is created because of death, resignation, removal, disqualification, it is 6 months. Whenever the vacancy is created because of sickness of the president, then until the president comes back to the chair, vice president can act as president. Correct answer is option B. Whenever even the office of vice president is vacant, Chief Justice of India acts as President of India. This is how we are supposed to solve the answer. This is how questions, this is how examiner frames questions. What you people are doing? How B will become answer? Sheila, how B is becoming answer? Read the B option then. The Chief Justice of India automatically assumes the presidency if the vice president office is also vacant. When president office is vacant, next vice president should be acting as president. Whenever vice president is also office vacant, is obviously CJ only, no? What is wrong with option B? Sheila. Rami, you are late to class. Sheila, what is wrong with option B? I told you what and all is wrong with C, what and all wrong with D, what and all wrong with A. What is wrong with option B? This is how you people are supposed to prepare for competitive exams. Don't expect easy answer. What is your name? My name is ABCD. Sheila, yes, the question is about what is vice president role regarding whenever the president office is vacant. What is wrong with option B, Sheila? Please read it properly. Whenever there is even vice president's office is vacant, whenever vice president is not able to take president's, because president office is vacant, vice president is supposed to take that office. Even vice president is not in the office, then obviously it's Chief Justice of India, no? Ria, Sheila, please read the question carefully. The question is telling in the event of vacancy of office of president. Question is telling the president office is vacant. Option B is telling the vice president office is also vacant. Then obviously it's CJ only. No, what is your problem? What you people are getting? Why you people are getting confused? I don't know. Sheila K, Ria, I don't know why you people are getting confused. You people are not focusing or what? I'm explaining you again and again. Question is already asking. During the time of vacancy of president, what is the role of vice president? Option is telling even vice president vacant, office is vacant, then CJ will take over. What is wrong in that? Who told you it's only about president and vice president? Where is it given it's only about vice president or vice president? It is, question is about vice president's role, but clearly option is telling no, office of vice president is also vacant. Then what can vice president do? Obviously, Chief Justice of India steps in, no. Okay, you tell me, other than, you tell me what is wrong with option B. I told you what is wrong with A, C, D. Okay, you tell me how A can be correct, how C can be correct, how D can be correct. Sheila, your whatever your doubt is asking, you please, you should only understand that. I am trying to explain you again and again. Tell me how option C is correct. How option D is correct, how option A is correct, you tell me. Or tell me how option B is wrong. We are moving to next question. There is no point. You people are not understanding, asking the same question again and again. I am explaining you 100 times. Exactly. Anusha Lingarendi. Exactly. Please explain to your friends. I am explaining again and again. They are not understanding. Sadhana educational event eye opener. Sadhakara jotege nera sambhashane at Dharwad Lingayatara Samudaya Bhavana, Saptapura. These three people are your chief guests. Attend their event, attend the Sadhana educational program personally, in person. First 100 registrations free of cost. Then next registrations are charged 99 rupees. July 26, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Link will be in the description and also QR code. You can scan it. Send it to your friends also. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಧಾರವಾಡಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಧಾರವಾಡ ಹುಬ್ಳಿ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಊರುಗಳಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ, 26 ಜುಲೈ ಶನಿವಾರ 10 ಗಂಟೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಮುಂಜಾನೆ 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನವರೆಗೂ ಈ ಸಾಧನ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹೂ PSI, KPSC, SSC, banking, railway aspirants. Jyoti, when Dr. Zakir Hussain died, and then also VV Giri didn't die. VV Giri sir resigned from vice president post to stand for the election of president. Jyoti, you are half correct, half wrong. When Dr. Zakir Hussain, President Dr. Zakir Hussain expired, VV Giri sir acted as president of India. Then for new president election, sitting people cannot take part in the election. No, they need to give up their post. VV Giri resigned from vice president post to stand for the election of president. Then Chief Justice of India Hidayatullah sir, he acted as president of India. Jyoti ma'am, VV Giri sir didn't die that time. VV Giri sir, it's okay. VV Giri sir resigned from the vice president post to stand for the election of president. Then Justice Hidayatullah sir, he acted as president of India. Yes, Diana, yes. Okay, next. Which of the following is not explicitly vested in the Vice President of India by Constitution? To assume the functions of the President during a temporary absence or inability of the President, to act as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha, to resolve deadlocks in the parliamentary proceedings through casting a deciding vote, to certify a bill as a money bill if a dispute arises in the Rajya Sabha. Which of this power is not explicitly given to the Vice President of India by the Constitution of India? Sheila K. Sina, to resolve deadlocks in the parliamentary proceedings through casting a deciding vote. Sheila K. and others, please read the question and options carefully. Don't jump to the answers. What is the answer to this question? Please answer, students. What is the power explicitly given to the Vice President in the Indian Constitution? Which is the power which is not given? Which of the power is not given? Anusha Lingareddy, sir, will that class will get live on July 26th, sir? Anusha Lingareddy, this Saturday is last KPSC online polity series from Bhandav sir side, from Varanda Institute side. My online class will come to end on this Saturday. Sheila, Rami, Sia, Diana, obviously to certify a bill as a money bill if a dispute arises in the Rajya Sabha, only speaker can decide what type of bill it is, whether it is a money bill, ordinary bill, finance bill 1, finance bill 2. Rajya Sabha has no right in money bill. Money bill can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha only with the prior permission of the President. Rajya Sabha can only give recommendations, that's all. Following it, leaving it is up to Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha cannot reject or cannot withhold the money bill. Why do you think the Vice President cannot vote whenever, casting vote whenever that house locks deadlock? Obviously, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, they get this casting vote right. They don't vote initially, in first instance. Speaker of Lok Sabha or Chairman of Rajya Sabha, they don't vote in first instance. Whenever there is deadlock, only then they will vote. That power is given for them, no? Oh, Anusha Lingareddy, that session is not, that session is only for offline, I believe. Online, they're not, online it's not going to be live. You need to go to visit Lingayat Samudaya Bhavana, Dharwad, Saptapur, Bavi. Sadhana event is not happening online, I believe. It's not live. It's only for offline. A candidate for the office of Vice President must fulfill certain qualifications Which of the following is a criterion that is not mentioned as the disqualification of the Constitution? Among the qualification mentioned for Vice President of India, which among the following is not mentioned as a qualification for the Constitution of in the Constitution for the Vice President post? Which among these options is not a qualification to become Vice President of India? ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳಾಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಇರುವ ಅರ್ಹತೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಅರ್ಹತೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಭಾರತ ಸಂವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲಿ? Sheila C, Diana C, Disha, Anusha, Jyoti, Rami, Riya. Obviously, Vice President of India must be qualified for the election of not Lok Sabha, it should be Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha. It's Prime Minister, it's President of India who should be qualified to be eligible to be elected as a member of Lok Sabha. Both age is same, 35 years, remaining all qualification is same for President and Vice President. Next, the Electoral College for the election of the Vice President differs significantly from that of a President. Which statement accurately describes the Electoral College for the Vice President? Basically, there is a difference between Electoral College of President and Vice President. What is the difference? ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಇದೆ? What is the difference in the election held for President and Vice President? Diana C, Sheila C, Rami C, Jyoti C. It comprises all members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, including nominated members. Obviously correct, my dear students. Thank you for giving correct answers from last 2-3 questions. Thank you. Election of President. ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. Election of President, election of Vice President. Election of President, MPs of Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha only elected. Also MLAs of all 28 states only elected, and also Union Territories of Delhi and Puducherry only elected. Whereas election of Vice President, it is only MPs, no MLAs here, only MPs, but also includes both elected and also nominated. Both elected and nominated members of the Rajya Sabha, no MLAs involved. This is also, Vice President election is also indirect election, President election also indirect election. This is also proportional representation system through single transferable vote by the vote of secret ballot. Here also President election also proportional representation system by transferable single vote by secret ballot. I hope you are understanding, my dear students. Which of the following is the correct constitutional provision regarding the term of office of the Vice President? Please read the options carefully. Which of the following is a correct constitutional provision regarding the term of office of the Vice President? Please read the options carefully, question carefully, and then give me an answer. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಲೈವ್ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಲೈವ್, ಟ್ರೈ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್. ಡೂ ಆನ್ಸರ್, ಟ್ರೈ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್. Ria is telling C. The vice president holds office for term of 5 years from the date on which they enter office and continues to hold office until their successor enters upon their office even after the expiry of the term. What about others? Ria C. Thiru is telling A. Diana C. Sheila C. Jyoti C. Sonia C. Thiru is telling A. The vice president holds office for term of 5 years from the date on which they enter the office and cannot be re-elected for a consecutive term. Thiru, where did you learn this? Mr. Thiru, where did you learn that vice president of India cannot be re-elected back? Option A is obviously wrong, my dear students. There is no limit. There is no condition on the re-election of vice president. They can be re-elected any number of times they want. Example, our Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan sir. See here, the correct answer is option C. The vice president holds office for a term of 5 years from the date on which they enter office and continues to hold office even after expiration of the term until the new successor has been appointed. They don't resign as soon as their term is expired. Thiru, it's okay. Thiru, no need to be sorry. It's okay, you are attempting to give an answer, that is completely fine. But please be careful. In nowhere in Indian constitution there is any limit on the vice president election. They can get re-elected any number of times. Next. My dear students, as you know, at Varanda Race Institute, they are providing offline coaching classes, both offline and online paid coaching classes for PC, PSI, FDA, SDA, VAO, PDO, Group B, Group C, Banking, Railways, KPSC, RBI exams, all these examinations. Link will be in the description. You can also call them. Direct, ನೀವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರೀ ಮಿಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ವಾಪಸ್ ಅವರೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Share this to your friends. Link will be in the description. Any doubt, any clarification, any guidance, you can call us or give a missed call or register with the link given in the description. Through the link, you will be contacted by Varanda Race. We have branches in Bengaluru, 2 branches in Bengaluru, 1 branch Dharwad, 1 branch Mysore. Other state also, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, we have branches there also. Wherever you want to go, you can go and join us. Next, if a dispute arises regarding the election of the vice president, who has the executive jurisdiction to inquire into and decide upon such dispute? Basically, whose decision is final whenever there is doubts and disputes regarding the ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್. ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೊರತೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾರ ನಿರ್ಣಯ ಅಂತಿಮ ನಿರ್ಣಯ? ರಿಯಾ, ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಡಯಾನಾ, ರಮಿ, ಶೀಲಾ, ತಿರು. Obviously, Anuradha, Anusha Lingareddy, Ria, obviously correct. The decision of Supreme Court of India is final. Whether the election of president or election of vice president, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಹಾಗೂ ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೊರತೆಗಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತಿಮ ನಿರ್ಣಯ ಯಾರ್ದಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಫೈನಲ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್. ಸೂರ್ಯ ಸಿ. Joint session of parliament presided over by the Chief Justice of India. Surya, where did you learn this? Surya, how come to doubts and disputes of Supreme Court or doubts and disputes of president or vice president, how come joint session of parliament is done by Chief Justice of India? How is it connected? Where did you learn? Next, which of the following scenarios best illustrates the vice president's role when the president is unable to discharge their functions due to illness and the vice president office is also vacant? Which of the following scenarios best illustrates the vice president's role when the president is unable to discharge their functions due to illness and the vice president office is also vacant? Read the options carefully, my dear students. Options na correct odi. Surya, no need to be sorry. I just asked you where did you read, because how come Chief Justice of India can make a joint parliamentary session and tell Supreme Court decision is final, Surya. You can revise Vice President concept. After this class, Surya, you can watch our YouTube videos. The online videos will be there on YouTube only. It won't be deleted. You can watch whenever you want. Whenever you have doubt, you can watch our videos and you can get clarity. Thiru is C. A new election for the president must be held immediately while the senior most cabinet minister performs presidential duties. Thiru, how come senior most cabinet member performs presidential duties? How come a new election of president must be held immediately? Diana B. The Chief Justice of India or in their absence the senior most judge of the Supreme Court available discharges the functions of the president. What about others? Rami, Diana, Ria, Jyoti, Sheila, Anusha. Thiru, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಲ್ವಾ? I am using both the languages, English and Kannada. Obviously, I can't read this question in Kannada. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನ. It's in English. How can I translate every word? Whichever word is possible, I am translating. ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಪಾಲಿಟಿ KPSC ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿ KPSC ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. KPSC Polity class. I am using bilingual languages helping both of you. Correct answer is option B. The Chief Justice of India, in the absence of senior most judge, the Supreme Court available discharges the functions of the president. Surya, correct answer B. Thiru, ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ವಾ? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್? ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಹಾಗೂ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಏನಿದೆ? ತಿರು, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ತಿರು, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಹಾಗೂ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ ಹೇಳಿ. ದೀಪಕ್ ಅನ್ನಿಗೇರಿ ಬಿ. ದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್. ದೀಪಕ್ ಅನ್ನಿಗೇರಿ, ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ದೀಪಕ್, ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ, ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ is elected indirectly by secret ballot but the vice president is elected by open ballot in parliament. Sheila B. Surya B. The president is elected by proportional representation with a single transferable vote while the vice president is elected by direct popular vote. Sheila, when did I teach you like this? The answer is the president is elected by an electoral college including state legislative assemblies, that is MLAs also, whereas the vice president election is not. MLAs don't take part in vice president election, only MPs of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha take part, whereas in president's election both MPs and MLAs take part. No.
Okay, I found this on the web for election MLA, vice president, president, MP of Rajya Sabha President's election.
Sheila. Election of president, both MPs and MLAs elected, whereas election of Rajya Sabha, election of vice president, both elected and nominated members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, right? Which former vice president of India also served as a chief minister of state before assuming the vice presidency? Only if you know the answer you can give me, or else it's fine. Only if you know the answer. Which former vice president of India also served as the chief minister of the state before assuming the vice presidency? Deepak Hanigeri C. ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದೀಪಕ್. ಓದ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿ. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ನೋ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಮಿ, ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫೈನ್. ವಿಚ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಯಾವ ಮಾಜಿ ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳಾಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ? ಸೂರ್ಯ ಸಿ. ಸರ್ವಪಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಧಾಕೃಷ್ಣನ್. ಶೀಲಾ ಡಿ. ರಾಮಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವೆಂಕಟರಾಮನ್. ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಶಂಕರ್ ದಯಾಳ್ ಶರ್ಮಾ. ಶಂಕರ್ ದಯಾಳ್ ಶರ್ಮಾ ಅವರು ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ the state of creation of Madhya Pradesh, the state will be called as Bhopal. He will be chief minister. He will be chief minister of Bhopal. Bhopal is in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಭೋಪಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಮುಂಚೆ ಭೋಪಾಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ರಿಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್. Rami, yes. So thank you so much my dear students. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಇನ್ನೇನು 2 ದಿನ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಇದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾರು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಸ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡೇ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಟಿಲ್ ನಾವು ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ವರೆಗೂ ಮುಗಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಆನ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ 24/7. Whenever you get doubt of any concept, any topic, you can go back and watch those videos. Thank you so much my dear students. Thank you for attending my class. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much.